Well, hello, upper cervical doctors and students. Welcome back to the UCM podcast. I am your host, Dr. Bill Davis, for today's episode. And today's episode is going to be especially for students. If you are a student, if you know a student, share this content with them. This is going to be extremely valuable for them and really is going to help them to get more out of their chiropractic school experience. What we're going to talk about today is 5 things to focus on as a chiropractic student beyond just passing boards. Chiropractic schools are very much focused on helping you to achieve the goals of school, which is, pass tests, finish different sections of your education, and ultimately pass the different national boards that are necessary so you can become a chiropractor, right? So you can get a license, you can get what you need to be a licensed chiropractor in the state that you want to practice in, which is extremely important and very valuable. And it's not that I'm going to say any of that is not good. It is good. It's good. And you want to do well in school. You want to learn everything you possibly can. And you want to obviously pass your boards so you can be a practicing chiropractor. I committed very much to my school and finished near the top of my class, summa cum laude. So I am not saying that you shouldn't try to do well in school. You should. But there are things to focus on as a chiropractic student that will serve you extremely well in your chiropractic career that they will not just teach you in school, right? So your school experience has to be well-rounded. You have to not just think about, I've got to pass, biochemistry, or I have to, do well in my anatomy test this week, but I need to figure out how I can be successful in this career, in practice, in helping patients, in serving my community, in reaching my community. And so if you're in chiropractic school right now, what if you could learn from someone who's been there and done it? That's me. I went through chiropractic school. I understand the struggles of a chiropractic student. I understand, being in class 5 days a week and then having to study on the weekends and study at night and, all of the pressures of being a student. But what if you could also learn from someone who's worked with hundreds of successful upper cervical chiropractors and understands what's important, not just to be successful in school, but also to be successful in practice. And that's me. I've worked with hundreds of upper cervical chiropractors who are very successful in practice over the past 12 plus years. And so the goal of this podcast is simple. It's to help current students avoid common mistakes, save precious time, and set themselves up for success after graduation. These 5 insights could transform your educational journey and your future practice. And so let's get right into them, into the 5 things to focus on as a chiropractic student beyond passing boards. So the first thing is the importance of building relationships. Build relationships early and often. The more relationships that you can build, the better. The power of connections is extremely important when it comes to developing the right mindset and habits as it relates to being a successful upper cervical chiropractor. So you want to spend as much time as you possibly can visiting chiropractic offices, right? So I just said you have to spend a lot of time in school. You have to spend a lot of time studying for school and studying for tests and boards and all these types of things. But any time that you have, if you know a chiropractic practice that's in your area that's open on a Saturday, go there, right? Visit, spend an hour there. go out to lunch with the chiropractor. If you have a chiropractic practice that's close to your school, and you can go there after classes end for an hour before they close, go. Go to as many chiropractic offices as possible. Learn from practicing doctors what to do and what not to do. You can learn both positive and negative lessons that are going to serve you well in your chiropractic practice. But especially, you want to focus on doctors who practice the way you want to, right? Now, that may take some time. If you're in your first year of school, you may have no clue yet how you want to practice. But that's why you want to visit different types of doctors, different types of chiropractors, different types of specialists within the chiropractic profession, so you can learn different approaches and understanding, so that you can start to develop your own philosophy, mindset, focus as a student. So then you can direct your time, that you're building relationships more specific to the type of practice you want to have. Another thing that I would highly, highly recommend, this is something new that we've started just this year, is to join our Associate Talent Network. Our Associate Talent Network is a network that we've created for students and for doctors who are looking for associate positions as well. And it will allow you to get into a pool or a place, a network, where we're able to connect you with preceptor positions, with associate positions, and also just keep you connected to content like this, right? If you like this type of content, if you want to learn about how to be successful in upper cervical practice, then you want to get into our world. You want to get into our network at UCM. And so to join our Associate Talent Network, just go to ucmgrow.com/network. That's ucmgrow.com/network. And this professional network will provide you with support systems to really help you stay connected to what's most important as you go through school, and continue to develop the mindset and habits of a successful upper cervical chiropractor. Because you have to, there's a mindset and habits that you may have as a student, and some of those are good and some of those will translate into practice success, but many of them will not. And so you want to make sure that you're developing the right types of habits and the right type of mindset of successful doctors. Another thing that is extremely important is to join student clubs, especially if you want to be an upper cervical chiropractor. If you have a desire to practice an upper cervical technique, join an upper cervical student club. And if your school doesn't have one, start one. And if you start it and it's just you in the club, do it anyways, right? Start learning, start applying yourself to the type of technique that you want to learn. And then you can get others involved. You can get other friends. You can invite them in there. Hey, I learned about this upper cervical technique. I want to learn more about it. Hey, do you want to study it with me? Let me tell you why it's so cool. Let me tell you why it's so exciting to me, right? And then attend professional events. Upper cervical conferences are a must. If you have an interest in being an upper cervical chiropractor, I highly recommend you start going to upper cervical conferences during school. Students that go to upper cervical conferences during school have a much higher likelihood of success in practice. Go to conferences. The great thing is, many of the upper cervical techniques offer support for students. We'll give you opportunities for scholarships to go to the conferences at no cost, or there's doctors that will sponsor you to go. So get involved with the conferences, get involved with the associations, the technique associations, so that you can start learning about these types of opportunities, because you want to you want to get connected and stay connected with these upper cervical technique organizations. Now, if you're not sure which upper cervical technique you want to do, but you're interested in upper cervical, just start going to any of them. Go to any of the conferences. Just start learning. Start talking to doctors, start connecting, build relationships, and build them early and often. The second thing here that I highly recommend you do as a student, beyond just passing boards, is to work on mastering communication skills, not just adjusting skills, right? So communication is an absolute must as an upper cervical chiropractor, or as any chiropractor for that matter. Being great with your hands is only part of the picture. Patients need confidence in you as their doctor and their guide to better health, right? So when you combine technical expertise, master your adjusting techniques, master your subluxation evaluation skills, that is extremely important. Again, you're going to learn some of that in school, but a lot of it you're going to need to learn from practicing doctors, from upper cervical conferences, especially if you want to do an upper cervical technique. You need to learn how to effectively evaluate posture, how to see subluxations on films. These types of things are so crucial to your technical expertise. But then you also need to be developing those clear communication skills. You got to be able to translate complex concepts into simple, relatable language, right? So practice. This is a great tip. Practice explaining chiropractic care in simple terms to others, right? Especially if you're going to practice upper cervical. Explain head tilt to your classmate, to your friends, to your family, right? Explaining upper cervical subluxations. Explain how holding is healing is the key to better health through upper cervical chiropractic. Explain basic upper cervical concepts to others and do it over and over and over, right? You want to learn everyday analogies. You want to be able to speak to people who are coming from different backgrounds. You want to keep practicing and refine your explanations until they're crystal clear. The more you communicate it, the more that you tell people what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it, the better you will be able to develop trust. And that's the third thing here is patient trust. Build confidence through clear explanations and genuine care for people, right? So when you combine technical expertise with clear communication, and it will help you develop that patient trust, even through, even in friends and family. When you're doing this and doing this well, you're gonna start seeing your friends and family be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, I understand. Huh, interesting. I never heard that before, right? You're gonna start getting that more and more as you explain it and explain it well. And so work on your communication skills throughout school. The third thing here is to learn about business and practice growth. Chiropractic school teaches you to pass your boards primarily, right? But here's the hard truth. Technical skill alone won't keep the lights on. Most programs offer minimal business training. Chiropractic programs don't really focus on business. And if they give you even a little bit of business training, it's not very effective. I'll just tell you that. Many graduates are unprepared for the realities of practice ownership, right? And this is part of the reason why we highly recommend associate positions, right? When you come out of school, you want to learn everything you can in school about business and practice growth, but you can only learn so much, during school because it's a busy time. You've got a lot of other priorities. And so when you get into an associate position, you can more specifically focus on those things that are necessary to learn, to actually have your own practice. If that is your goal, if your goal is to own your own practice, we highly recommend that you start as an associate and spend time in an associate position for a while before you move into your own practice. But during school, you still want to learn some basic business and practice growth skills, right? Learn patient retention strategies. And a lot of this you can learn from talking with upper cervical chiropractors or any type of chiropractors that you're meeting with, right? Just ask them questions about these types of things, right? So, hey, doc, what are some strategies you found that are helpful to retain patients, right? That should be a question you ask. Just see what they say. They're going to have different ideas and different thoughts. Marketing and community outreach is another essential business skill that you want to learn as much as you can about in school. Again, if you visit lots of chiropractors, ask them, how do they market their practice? How do they reach out to the community, right? Financial management and budgeting, right? Learn about this. This is a weakness within upper cervical chiropractic or chiropractic in general, is financial management and budgeting. And so the more that you can understand how to effectively manage money and manage pricing and all these kinds of things, understand pricing, the better. Again, ask the doctors, ask the practices that you're visiting. How do you manage your finances? How do you budget for your practice? How do you manage overhead? How did you decide on your pricing, right? Like, that's a really good question. Why is your adjustment this price, right? Why are you charging this much for your care plans, right? Don't ask it in a accusatory way or something like that, but in a curious way. I'm just wondering, doc, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how do people charge what they charge? Like, why do you charge what you charge? I'd love to learn more about how you structure that. Another essential skill is just learning as much as you can about leadership and team building, right? If you can get involved in any kind of leadership positions within chiropractic school, do it, right? If you can get involved in leadership opportunities at, within the school itself, the school leadership, those types of things, leading a club, any of that type of things that you have to, like, build consensus, build a team, encourage others, motivate others. Those are great skills to learn that are going to serve you well in practice. And then lastly, an essential business skill is that leaders are readers. And so always be reading, listening to books. Audible membership is a tremendous, or Spotify Premium as well. They both have tons of audiobooks that you can consistently listen to. If you have a commute to school, make sure you're listening to a book always. Don't waste time just listening to music, something like that. Listen to a book. Learn about business, practice growth. Learn about how you can continue to develop your mindset and habits. And, Upper Cervical Practice Mastery is the book that Tony and I wrote. Fantastic book for students. And there is an audio version. You can get the audio version, and you can listen to that one. And then, of course, this podcast. We have over 250 episodes, whatever it is. You can listen to those on your drives, right? Listen to those types of things as you're working out, right? These are great opportunities to invest in your business and practice growth understanding. And then just visit our website. Go to ucmgrow.com for resources to help you. You can find all the podcasts there at ucmgrow.com/podcast. You can go to, you can get webinars there. You can get free tools, tons of blogs, all kinds of resources to help you. The fourth thing here is to make sure you're taking care of your health and understanding boundaries, establishing good boundaries. The physical and emotional demands of chiropractic practice are real. You're going to be on your feet for hours. You're going to be performing repetitive motions. You can be carrying the weight of your patient's health concerns, right? The habits you build now will determine whether you thrive or merely survive in practice. And so even as you are a busy student, can exercise, right? You want to be a healthy doctor, right? You don't want to be an unhealthy chiropractor who is trying to help others to be healthy. You don't want to have that incongruence in your life, right? So exercise regularly, maintain your physical strength and your endurance. Your body is your most important tool as a chiropractor. Care for your own spine, right? Get regularly checked and adjusted as needed, and make sure you're learning good practice ergonomics, right? How you handle your body when you are adjusting others. You can't pour from an empty cup. You got to make sure you're continually filling your cup up with solid health practices. And then also you want to make sure you're caring for your mental and your spiritual health, right? Develop stress management techniques, maintain relationships, nurture your spiritual well-being, prayer, reading the Bible, learning to develop your mind, your spirit, your heart, so that in such a way that you're consistent with who you are as a person. And then set boundaries, learn to say no, schedule downtime, create sustainable study and work habits, right? These types of habits, these types of mindsets will serve you into practice. And the last one here, the fifth one here, is to seek upper cervical training as early as possible, right? As if you are, you're a chiropractic student right now and you're not focused on upper cervical chiropractic yet, learn about it, right? It's obviously, I'm biased, but I believe it is the most powerful type of chiropractic there is and can make the most incredible results in people's lives. The exceptional results, the professional distinction you have as an upper cervical specialist because of that precision focus is really a game-changing discovery. And, I discovered it after I was already out in practice. After I graduated from school, a couple years into practice, I discovered upper cervical, and I wish I would have learned about it earlier, but, everybody has their different journey. But if you're a student right now and you're like, I don't know about upper cervical, learn, dive into it, learn, see if it makes sense to you. I have a feeling it will. And, one of the best ways you can do it is just go talk to someone who is practicing upper cervical in your community. Again, visiting doctors is crucial. And so recapping all of this, everything we talked about today, your next step forward is this. Number one, focus on relationship building, right? Connect with chiropractors in your area, build relationships with them, visit their practices, develop relationships also with your classmates, with your professors. Develop relationships. Relationship building is a huge part of developing as a chiropractor. And master communication skills, right? Practice explaining chiropractic, specifically upper cervical chiropractic, hopefully, if that's your focus, in simple, confident terms. Again, you can learn this by being around other chiropractors. You can learn this by talking to others. These types of analogies, these ways of explaining things, and just keep practicing. Talk with friends, family, others. Learn business fundamentals, right? Use your time wisely, redeem it. If you're driving, be listening to a business book. If you're working out, be listening to a practice growth book. Learn, or a podcast that's going to help you. Listen to our podcast at those times. Those will help you learn the business fundamentals where you can, consistently study practice management, marketing, financial planning, these types of things as you are a student to give you a foundation in these types of business fundamentals. And then prioritize your health, right? Maintain your physical fitness, your mental wellness, your professional boundaries. Establish those good habits now. And if you haven't started yet, explore upper cervical training, right? Get connected with an upper cervical chiropractor in your area. Go to an upper cervical specific conference. Investigate this specialized approach to chiropractic care that is helping so many people and really setting chiropractors apart as the unique specialists that they are. I encourage you to not wait to learn these lessons. The earlier you start, if you start as a chiropractic student, the better your future practice and your patients' lives will be. So take action today. Whether you're a current student or a practicing doctor, choose one or all of these areas and take a small step forward today. Your future self will thank you. And I encourage you to connect and continue to learn. Follow us on social media. We're everywhere. If you search for us, UCM Practice Growth Systems, you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere and everywhere you'll find us with video content, with information to help you. And just continue to explore additional resources, the mentorship that we have available to you. If you haven't joined our talent network and you're a student, I encourage you to do so. Go to ucmgrow.com/network and put your information into our talent network. It will help you to connect with doctors who are looking for preceptors, who are looking for associates, and really give you a lot more opportunities in your professional career. So thank you, students and doctors, for listening. And as we always say around here, go team upper cervical.